This is a presentation for the subject COM 3214 Research Method in Mass Communication. We are Group 2 with members of Rebecca Chee Yixuan, Apple Wong Chen Chyi, Jasmine Chong Shan, and Chin San. Our research title is An Analysis of Gender Representation in TV Commercials aired during prime time news on Astro. Media is very powerful and can shape how people think of something. A lot of research have done overseas and prove that gender portrayal is happening in TV commercials. Objective of this research is to investigate the perception of college youth and how much that depends on this TV commercial and what is the role of gender representation in TV commercials and the influence of them. The hypotheses of our study are gender and race has no significant relationship towards gender representation on TV commercial. However, age and program of studies has a significant relationship on gender representation in TV commercials.
I'm going to explain the scope and delimitation in this study. The scope of this research was carried out in higher education provider in Malaysia from August to November 2018. This research involved respondents who are between 18 to 23 years old. This study is to identify the effect of gender representation in TV commercials to gender stereotype among the college youth with different races, education levels, age, and gender. We done the research in both qualitative and quantitative methods. 30 questionnaires are provided and given. Besides, face-to-face interview is also involved. This study is to investigate the awareness level of gender representation and stereotype of men and women are portrayed from TV commercial. This study can generate various benefits to different parties such as individual, family, school, society, and global community. First of all, an individual will turn out to be more reliant on media if the media can fulfill his or her needs. Secondly, media will encourage the family with strengthening their participation with higher level through achieving the information and have the same topic to discuss. As an educator or students, media benefit them with providing instant or breaking news. Moreover, people are able to make new decisions and evaluate an issue through how the media portrayed in society. Lastly, in this global community, media becoming a strong power of influencing and not only focusing to a person.
A literature review surveys scholarly articles, books, and other sources relevant to a particular issue, and by doing so, providing a critical evaluation of these works. The literature reviews that we use in our research studies are books, e-books, journals, and e-journals. We have collected 20 journals from 5 different continents for our research study. All the journals are categorized respectively according to our 4 objectives. The author period, title, objective, method, and key findings are all listed in the table of related literature review. The key finding of most of the journals shows that women are more likely to be portrayed stereotypically than men. They are usually portrayed as subordinate character, while men are always portrayed as active and dominant character. Besides, TV commercials usually feature young and charming women to advertise their products on TV commercials. Theoretical framework is a collection of ideas that is able to support the theories and provide guidance to the research studies. It consists of the variables that is needed to be measured and also the relationship to be analyzed in the research studies. The variables measured in this research study are age, gender, race, and education. Media system dependency theory states that the more a person relies on media to meet their needs, the more important media will be in that person's life, and therefore the more effect media will have on them. Dependency on media comes from 3 different relationships, which are the relationship between the society and the media, the relationship between the media and the audience, and lastly, the relationship between the society and the audience. Social learning theory states that people learn through imitation. This theory can be used to explain social behavior such as gender role representation. Observational learning is one of the important concepts in social learning theory. It means people can acquire a new behavior merely through observation. Thus, exposing the youth to TV commercials showing gender representations will leave an impact of them copying the behavior that seems masculine or feminine to them. In conclusion, there are many journals that is related to the gender representation in TV commercials. This shows that the gender representation in TV commercials is a highly concerned topic among many people. Besides, the theoretical framework is playing a crucial role as well. It provides guidance so that we can apply the theories to examine the relationship between variables that is needed to be measured and analyze the research study effectively.
The methodology can be defined as giving an overview of what strategy or process the scientist should use to inquiry about goals. The unit of analysis of our research is collect youth, which is 18 to 25 years old. Our sampling size is 400 and we use face-to-face and online Google Form to do the data collection. Research design is a framework to help researchers to do the planning to collect information in a more effective way. The purpose of research design is to reduce the ambiguity of our research evidences that lead to theory and hypothesis. This is the concentrated framework of our research. Survey is a method of collecting data and information from individuals. We use face-to-face and online survey to collect the data. 30 respondents involved in face-to-face survey and 400 respondents involved in online survey. There are about 6,500 students in India, and to get the 5% of margin of error, the sample size must be more than 363, so we make it 400 for our sample size. Our research developed a 33-item questionnaire. Section A is a brief introduction to know the interest and consumer behavior of the respondent. From Section B to Section E, a total of 25 statements are developed. Each section are related to each objective of our research. The last section, Section F, is to know the background and demographic of the respondent. There are 4 levels of measurement, which are nominal level, ordinal level, interval level, and ratio level. In our research, the measurement used for Section A is simple rating scale, Section B is Likert scale, and Section C is nominal measure. Pretest is the best method to discover the education of a research instrument design, which uses a small sample to conduct a mini-study to test the accuracy of the study approved and the reliability of the questionnaire before it is distributed to the respondent. In our research, 25 questions were distributed to 30 respondents for pretest, and the compound alpha for pretest is 0.801, which is considered as good. In this research, focus group and face-to-face interview are used for qualitative research. Focus group, also known as group interview, is used to understand the attitude and behavior of a group of people toward the topic being investigated. 4 questions were distributed for 4 respondents for the focus group, and all of them are from different races. During mass media research process, the researcher will observe human behavior of the respondent by questioning or examining them. Consideration of ethics is required for the researcher to differentiate what is right or wrong and good or bad morally during research process, which claim that researcher must concern for the right of the respondent but not violate it. There are 4 relevant ethical principles, which are autonomy, non-maleficence, beneficence, and justice. In conclusion, data analyzing and data collection is crucial in a research paper. Statistical methods are basically divided into 2 categories, which are parametric tests and non-parametric tests. If the information about the population is completely known by means of its parameter, then the statistical method is called a parametric test. If there is no information about the population or parameter, but is requested to test the hypothesis of a population, then it's called a non-parametric test. In this research, parametric test was used. It is more powerful and more flexible than non-parametric tests and appropriate for interval and ratio data. It not only allowed the researcher to study the effect of independent variable on dependent variable, but also made possible the study of their interaction. It also possible with the action of generalization. The Cobra alpha of post-test is 0.805, which is considered as good. There are 400 respondents involved in this research. Male and female are equally composed of 50%, which is 200 respondents respectively. Malay respondent, Chinese respondent, Indian respondent, and respondents from other races are equally composed of 25%, which is 100 respondents respectively. 29% of the respondents are 20 years old, which are the highest frequency, and only 2.5% of the respondents are 24 years old, which is the lowest frequency. Most of the respondents are from business school, who make up 34.8% of total respondents, while least of them study law, who make up only 3.5% of total respondents. Most of the respondents are from 2nd and 5th semester. They are composed of 14.3% of the total respondents respectively. Least of them are from 6th semester. They make up 7.5% of the total respondents. 81.5% of the respondents are local students, which are Malaysian, and 18.5% of the respondents are international students. 5.8% of the respondents are from Indonesia and China respectively, and only 0.8% of the respondents are Japanese. Most of the respondents score 3.1 to 3.5 CGPA, in which accounted 43%, while only 1% of the respondents score less than 2.0 CGPA. There are 7 statements distributed for Objective 1. Based on the table, most of the respondents retain neutral on 6 out of 7 statements. The statement of media might have an indirect impact on girls' body image through influence on both expectation and evaluation of girl experience is agreed by 38.5% of the respondents. There are 7 statements distributed for Objective 2. According to the table, list of the respondents strongly disagree on all the statements of Objective 2. Most of the respondents feel agree on 4 out of 7 statements and feel neutral on other 3 statements. There are 5 statements distributed for Objective 3. Based on the table, all the statements receive most of the responses of neutral and least of the responses of strongly disagree. There are 6 statements distributed for Objective 4. According to the table, all the statements are strongly disagreed by least of the respondents. Majority of the respondents stay neutral on 5 out of 6 statements and agree on the statement of display of slim woman model in TV commercial increase the dieting.
Hypothesis testing is a statistic method used by the researchers to test the null hypothesis to see whether it is accepted or rejected, and the significance level of this research is 0.05. We use t-test for the hypothesis testing of hypothesis 1, while ANOVA is used to test the hypothesis 2, 3, and 4. The results show that gender and race have no significance in relationship towards the gender representation in TV commercials aired during prime time on Astro, so the hypotheses are rejected. While the hypotheses of age and education have achieved the significance level above 0.05, so the hypotheses are accepted. For our focus group questionnaire, we have distributed the questionnaire papers to 4 respondents with different backgrounds. And all of the respondents have answered 4 questions each. Based on the response to the questions, we have categorized their answers to either mildly informed or highly informed to the gender representation in TV commercials. In conclusion, the responses received from all the respondents have given us more insights about their opinions regarding the gender representation in TV commercials aired during primetime news on Astro. The surveys we have conducted also enable us to determine whether the hypotheses are accepted or rejected, and it provides us guidance to examine the relationship between the hypothesis and post-test results.
Among the 4 hypotheses we set before we start our research, 2 of them have been rejected. The results of our research are slightly different from research done overseas. because our studies are done in Malaysia, which is a multiracial country. However, research done overseas are usually done in countries which are monoracial. The objectives of our study are tested too. The respondents react neutrally to most of our statements. Gender has no significant relationship to gender representation in TV commercials. This hypothesis is rejected. People of different gender have different mindset. Race has no significant relationship to gender representation in TV commercial. This hypothesis is rejected too. This is because people of different race have different mindset because they have different cultural background. Age has a significant relationship with gender representation in TV commercial. This hypothesis is accepted. Youths are more frequently featured in advertisements compared to people of other age group. Thus, they are more easily influenced by advertisements. Education has a significant relationship with gender representation in TV commercial. This hypothesis is accepted. Education level of a person defines how easily the person can be influenced by advertisements. Media dependency theory states that individuals can be heavily influenced by media because they rely a lot on media. According to our research findings, this theory is not applicable. An individual is rational and can think independently.
Social learning theory is one of the theories that used in this research method. In this model, people will learn from one another by copying someone else's behavior. The gender gap should be treated equally by the teacher or parents. They are the most impactful persons who can influence the mindset of a child since young, because a child will try to learn everything that happened around them. We need to use more than one research method for data collection and conduct the research study more than one university or college. In our opinion, one semester doesn't offer enough time to collect many responses from many people. So, the duration to complete the study should be longer. More resources are needed and increase the sampling size of research study are also required. Individuals can enhance themselves or learn new skills, and family also can enhance their relationship with each other. School can improve their education system to infuse the idea of gender equality and solve the problem of gender stereotyping. The issue of gender stereotyping presented in TV commercial can be also concerned in society as well. Global community can analyze the reason or solve the issue of gender stereotyping. In conclusion, based on the research results, the respondents react moderately to the issue of gender stereotyping in TV commercial. They think there is a gender stereotype problem happening in TV commercial, but they think it is still acceptable. It is a meaningful study that explains the power of advertising and how it influences the youth. Gender representation in TV commercial is a global social issue that should gain attention from the people around the world.